Hi friends, it's Sue with Everyday Artisan, and a few of you did say you wanted to see how I made my Kudzu and Celosia wreath. So I'm about to smash together a bunch of videos and pictures, and hopefully it will give you an idea and help inspire you to make something of your own. So first, I should probably tell you that I did harvest my Celosia probably a little too late, and I let some of it go to seed, which made things really messy. And when I went back and looked at the Floret website at the Flamingo Celosia, when she harvested it, it was a lot younger, so had not gone to seed yet, and it has a lot more color. Okay, and stay tuned for the end of the video because I'm going to throw up a couple pictures of some of my me-made outfits I've been wearing lately. I decided that I need to start wearing an outfit once a week. Just focusing it on May wasn't enough. So today I am wearing it's hard to see, it's a burgundy on burgundy, new leaves, A-line dress that I did in negative reverse applique. I'll go ahead and throw up a picture here. All right, let's get to it. First, we need to jump back in time to when I made my wreaths. And today I'm trying something totally new. I know I told you a while back that I would love to become a flower farmer someday. And so about 2 years ago, I grew some Celosia from seed, from Floret, in my backyard, and wasn't very smart about it, and I let it go to seed. And so what happened was this year, my entire backyard has pretty much been taken over by Celosia, which is good and bad. It's this time of year I'm trying to not let it go to seed again, which means harvesting it or pulling it or something. Anyway, so I get this idea that I'm going to make a Celosia wreath. And obviously, if you're going to make a wreath, you need a base or something to make it on, or at least that's what the YouTube videos I watched said. And so whenever I'm driving up to the mountain here, I live in Virginia, and so I drive past a whole bunch of kudzu. And actually, in another perfect world, I would love to make kudzu baskets. If you've ever seen Nancy Baskets and the work she does. Anyway, long story short, when I was out driving around and going to the farmer's market this morning, I went and harvested some kudzu. So let's see if I can make it into a wreath. There really wasn't much to it. I just made a circle the size I wanted and started coiling it around itself. Okay, so I went and grabbed the Celosia out of my car because I just kind of wanted to get an idea of sizes, if I thought was thick enough. If it is, I probably have enough kudzu to make 2 wreaths. Here's a quick picture of the volunteer Celosia that came up in my garden this year. It was in this raised bed last year, and last year it only grew up to 4 feet, which is what the website said it would grow. But this year it went all the way up to 6 feet because it's competing with the cosmos behind it. It also found a way to spread itself over by my compost bin and even in my driveway, gravel driveway, behind that fence. But I really do like the nature that it brings to my garden. Here's what it looks like freshly harvested out of the garden. Then when it came to drying each Celosia bundle, I wrapped each bundle with a rubber band, and I have them hanging from my dining room chandelier. They're supposed to be in a dry, dark place, but this is the driest place I had. It's not very dark, but they seem to be doing okay. Once my bundles were fully dry, I took off the rubber bands and made them into the separate smaller bundles. And I tried to do a few long pieces and a few short pieces. I tried to kind of, you know, in this case, I'm going to go like this so it can kind of be more all about the same length. Try to vary it a little in shapes or sizes. Like, isn't that fun? And I'm trying to kind of all gather it all right here. And what I will do, yeah, let's get some small ones with some purple on there. What I did next was took some green floral wire and just wrapped it right around, kind of right by the bottom where they're all together. And then obviously I don't need that much stem, so I cut it, all the stems off. And then to attach it to the wreath, just use that same green floral wire and wrap it around. Ooh. Wrap it around a few times. And then I would just keep going around. Just show you kind of as an example. With the next bundle, if this were my next bundle, I would just lay it over top and then wrap it around. And that's how I put the wreath together. Okay, if you would have told me that in all the packets I made, which I probably should have counted, I can probably go back and look at my picture and count, that using half of them was only going to get me halfway through my wreath, I would never have believed you. So hopefully this will get me all the way around. Well, I can't believe it. I still have a little ways to go. But the good news was I had a arrangement in my house that was in water. So I'm going to have to hang those up to dry at least overnight and then finish up the rest. And here it is, finished and hanging on my front door. I think you can kind of tell I had to turn it upside down because the bottom part, the gravity was pulling it down low. So now it looks kind of funny, like the parts are sticking straight up. So I think I'm going to have to keep rotating it pretty often. All right, well, if you've stuck around this long, thank you very much. I did tell you I was going to post some pictures of some outfits I wore, so that's coming up, but I just wanted to also say I've got a link below to, my sister wrote a blog post about my wreath that I made. She's got a gardening blog, and I really liked her take on it. It was more about decorating sustainably. So if you get a chance, hop on over and read that. It's got a couple other little tidbits that I told her about my process. But let's get into the outfits. First is the zero waste cardigan in the rose stencil. It's natural. This is the zero waste is because the backing fabric is not like a whole piece of fabric. It's just scraps. So it's navy scraps and natural fabric on top. I think I actually even put this on one of my YouTube shorts, but I'm wearing it with a plain navy tank and the navy mini reversible skirt that I made, that I have a video about. Next is a black and navy dress that I made, and I'll link to the blog post. I haven't vlogged about it. I saw a dress on eBay, I think it was, that was actually a collection dress, and it was like for $200, and I'm like, yes, I'll buy it. But then of course, as soon as I did, they said, oh, this item is no longer available. So I tried to recreate it, make it myself. I think I used like the panel pattern, but it's a really cool one. It's got a little bit of Magdalena stencil on it. That's black paint on black fabric, so it's very subtle, but I like it. Next, I think I must have been going to work a lot last month. I've got my tartan pencil skirt, which is one of the first things I actually even made a video about. So I'll link that below. And I'm wearing it just with a single layer ochre Alabama Shannon or A Shannon machine sewn line top. And the scarf that I got from a kit from Alabama Shannon, I don't know the name of this stencil, but I basically just outlined the design it's a black scarf, but I'd outlined the design in natural thread and a chain stitch. The next one is my ballet dress. I cheated a little on this one. I put the racing stripes down the side. As you knew, I think I've mentioned that in a video before, because I needed to add a little bit more volume to it. And I wanted to wear it to a dinner the other night. So I was going to redo the binding on both the neckline and the sleeves. Specifically the sleeves needed, obviously, because it's wider here because of the racing stripes. But in order to wear it to dinner, I just did the binding on the neckline with the rosebud stitch. I don't think she calls it rosebud, she calls it something else. And then just wore the cropped cardigan over top, so you couldn't see that I hadn't done the sleeves yet. So I'm still working on that. But this is one of the first pieces I made. I used gold paint from the local hobby store in Anna's Garden, and it's ballet on top and natural down below, reverse applique. And finally, and going back to work again, I wore another pencil skirt that I made. This is the Aurora stencil, and I did just applique. All right, I'm back. I wanted to get my book and make sure I told you the exact right thing, because somebody actually asked me in my comments about applique. So chapter 7, applique. Yeah, basically it says stencil the pattern onto your base fabric, cut out your applique pieces, flip the dried stencil used in step 1 to the wrong side, and transfer the stencil pattern to the wrong or back side of the applique fabric. And then the stitch I used, this is what I really wanted to look up, was the parallel whip stitch. I keep thinking it's the blanket stitch, but the blanket has a horizontal as well as a vertical. Anyway, pencil skirt, just wore it with a traditional white office blouse. All right, thank you guys for hanging in there. I really enjoyed doing this project. Let me know if you want me to see other projects that I've done. I actually bought a basket weaving kit from Flax and Twine, so I'm going to try to make that next. And I'm still working on that darn robe that I keep telling you I'm going to make. Thanks.